Well, Series 1 of Delta-17's fresh in, so let's crack these guys open and take a look at them. So, Series 1 consists of 12 new figures spread over 3 different factions. Take a quick look at the packaging. Each packaging, they're a single carded blister with the artwork and the faction, as well as the name and their specialty. Then on the back of the card, you've got, all of the Delta-17 figures, then all of the Dark Shadows and Retrograd figures here, as well as a bio card, which can be found on their website, along with a copy of the artwork based on the faction. So, based on whether they're good or bad guys. Another thing I noticed, that the cards are the exact same size as the Vintage Joe 82 to 92 cards. So if you've got any case protectors, they'll work just fine in that. So let's crack these open onto the packaging and we'll take a look at some of the figures closer. So we'll start out taking a look at the main Delta-17 figures themselves. There are 5 main characters, and then there's 2 army/troop builders to supplement the main squad. So we'll start out taking a look at the squad leader, Shepard here. He's got this really cool removable helmet design, which can just be, just sits right on there. In addition to the helmet, he's got these, these nods on there that you can actually, that unplug, and you can actually swap to the upright position and place back on the figure. So he's not actively using them. He's got this really nice skull print mask. And then he includes this AR rifle as well as a shotgun that can plug into the backpack. The next character we'll take a look at is the second in command and probably the most visually striking of all the figures, and that is Leonidas here. I think the blue really pops along, the rest of the kind of more grounded military style figures. He's got this, t-shirt that says "Hang Loose," covered in tattoos. I really like that they were able to put the prints over the rivets. He's also has his dog, which can sit on top of his backpack, and has a removable water dish that goes into the backpack itself. He's got this really nice M4 as well. So definitely one of the, adds a lot of pop to the display. So cool figure. The next figure we'll take a look at is the comms guy, Rooster. He's got this nice SCAR rifle. It's all decked out in camo, kind of reminiscent of Hit and Run from Joe. He's got this radio backpack, which this, can plugs into here. And not only does this plug in, you can actually unplug this into a smaller backpack, which then can plug into the figure this way if he wants to kind of just keep a smaller backpack on him. The other nice thing is they actually included an extra antenna piece in case you lose the main one, which is a nice addition. The only downside is there's nowhere to store it. So if you just be careful not to lose it. That is Rooster. Another thing to note is that Rooster is actually slightly taller than some of the other male characters, as well as Preacher, who we'll get to in a minute. The next figure we'll take a look at is Kestrel, who is the Grenadier, and also if you read her bio, she's also a translator. I'm not sure what it is about this figure, but she really sticks out to me. I'm a big fan of her design. I think it's simple, but it works well together. She's got this AR with the grenade launcher to kind of, that goes with her specialty of the Grenadier, as well as a knife that sits into the backpack here. The next figure we'll take a look at is Preacher, who is the sniper. Obviously, he's got this big sniper here, but he's also got an assault rifle that can plug into his backpack, which also has a spot for the sniper as well, so you can swap out whichever weapons you want to have. Like I said, he is also slightly taller than some of the other figures, which I really like that it kind of gives, a little bit of height difference. The next figures in the Delta-17 line specifically are the Delta Troopers. So there's two different variants, A and B, which is a lighter skin and a darker skin. We'll take a look at this one first. It comes with this G36 style rifle, as well as a rocket launcher with 3 removable rockets, and then a knife that plugs in. And then we'll take a look on this one, but they've also got a removable gas mask, which you can just easily take right off. And the nice thing about the gas mask is there is actually a slot in the backpack, so if you're not using it, you can just store it and then plug it right back into the figure. So that's the 7 figures of Delta-17. The next faction we'll take a look at is the Retrograd faction, which is one of the 2 enemy factions. All this one is tied into the other enemy faction, as they're kind of hired by the Dark Shadows to do some of their work. So we'll start out taking a look at the leader here, Death Sparrow. She's got this AK with a drum mag, as well as the backpack. It's generally a simple design, but like I said with Kestrel, I think it works really well. You can see she's got the patch on her shoulder there. Yeah, I just think the figure works well together. And then the next figure we'll have is the army builder of this faction, which is the Thunder Battalion. He's got this assault rifle as well. It's important to note that this waist kit pouches will actually come backwards in the packaging, so you just flip that around easily enough. They have a removable helmet with the visor that drops down. It actually has 2 versions of the visor, one clear and one with this red. I do wish that there was a way to store this extra visor piece, kind of like maybe what we saw with the gas mask. Maybe there's some way to have put this in here. Would have been cool, but nonetheless, I think it's it's a generic Russian bad guy figure. I mean, there's not a whole lot to complain here on this figure. It's basically what you want out of a figure like this. I picked up a couple, so certainly happy with this guy. So the third faction we'll take a look at is the Dark Shadows faction. We'll take a look at the troop builder, which is actually a robot called the Okami. The cool thing about this figure is it's kind of like the 1986 Cobra Bat, where it's got an assortment of interchangeable hands, such as swords. So they just plug right on here, as well as the machine gun. And then when you take the hands out, they can actually plug right into the backpack as well. So you're never going to lose anything. I don't have an 86 Cobra Bat, but from what I believe is that all of these hand attachments will work on that figure as well. So the next figure we have is Jaguar, who is the enemy assassin. He's got this Vector assault rifle. Then he also has these 2 hand blades, which store on the backpack, as well as the sniper rifle. The Vector actually has the same peg holes as the sniper, so you can swap out whichever weapon you want on the backpack. So whichever one he's not using, he can still store. He's got these really cool goggles. I really like the gray camo scheme that this faction's got going on. I think it works well with the little splashes of red. And speaking of red, we'll take a look at the Shadow Dragon, who is the big bad. He's got this really cool cloth cape, as well as 2 swords that can sheath into his shoulder armor, as well as this submachine gun. As his card state, there's not a whole lot known about this faction in general. So I'll be looking forward to when the comics come out to actually learn more about these figures, but so far, really like them as well. So for size comparisons, we'll take a look at these compared to some of the other O-ring lines that are out there, like Leonard's the Core, Strike Force Alpha, Vintage Joe, and then the Grindstone Toy / Skeletron Red Shadows Wolf Trooper. As you can see, size of these stands notwithstanding, they fit right in. The Small Joe stands are a little bit bigger than the Delta-17 stands, so they, they would actually be more of the same height than they actually show. And then, as you can see, Rooster, who's more of 4 inches, is just a little bit taller than everybody else. So fits in, it's going to fit in and integrate with all of your other O-ring lines that you've got already. So overall, what do I think? I think overall that this is, 5x5 Toys put out an excellent line with Delta-17. These toys are super fun. I mean, they're toys first and foremost, and collector's items as well. I mean, they fit right in with everything else you've got. Yeah, I really like the sculpts. Some things I really like for, like, examples with the Delta Troopers, that all of these accessories can stow on the figure. You're not really worried about losing pieces. Another thing I really like are the sculpts on the weapons themselves. I think they look realistic, but not too realistic that they look out of place with the figures. My only real main complaint is something that, the guys over at 5x5 Toys and Delta-17 have addressed themselves, and that comes with some of the articulation in the crotch area. So they can't really sit straight. They've said you can open this figure up, swap the T-hook around, it'll give it a little bit more range of movement, or you can swap it with a Vintage Joe one. They said basically the T-hook came out to be too thick, that they're aware of the issue and are working on it. I know some people have said that they had some issues with the wrist swivel. I didn't have any with mine. I mean, it's only 45 degrees here, so it's not too hot, not too cold. They seem to work just fine for me, so if you are a fan of the O-ring military-style figures, I would definitely look into these. I'll put the link to the site in the description. These figures are all available now. They are already working on Series 2. There's a Series 1.5. They've basically announced that they're coming out with a helicopter, the Hind helicopter. So there's definitely a lot coming out with this line. It's definitely something, if you're interested in, I would look into it. So yeah, let me know down below if you're picking these figures up, if you picked them up, which ones are your favorite, which ones are you looking forward to. How do you guys feel about all these new O-ring figures so far? Let me know down below, and I'll see you next time.